the
Yeah.
beach and walking on the pier and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I live near an awesome beach,
Oh,
but I'm not a beach guy, really. I'm a desert guy.
mhm.
I like the desert. That's kind of like a beach, right?
The what?
Minus the water. Yeah. But anyway, when I moved here to Tampa Bay, I was in a actually in a tow truck with the tow truck driver for a rental car that broke down. And so he was towing me back across the bay to like Tampa airport. And I said, any fish in here? He's like, yeah, it's like fishing, paradise. I said, yeah, you caught stuff. I was like, yeah, just last week standing over on those rocks, I caught a hammerhead shark
Oh,
and a stingray. I'm like,
oh
oh
my.
yeah. And then
Wow.
he showed me pictures. Look,
Oh, wow.
right? I mean, what the hell do I know? I'm from the desert. So,
Mm.
but welcome everyone. We're live. We're live. What does this have to do with e-commerce? Nothing. Okay. So,
People
although,
who like to fish
yeah,
are
fish,
on
right? I mean, there's
mugs.
people they like live and die with fishing, and they got
Hmm.
all the memorabilia. I'd rather be fishing, and
Uh-huh.
my other car is a Chris Craft, right? It's a
Right.
boat manufacturer. So yeah, the bumper stickers. So there's always a niche, guys, and there's always
Mhm.
something that you can impinge on as a
That can
marketer.
relate.
So
Hmm.
anyway, good to see you all. I see a bunch of our favorite people here. Lynn's here, Susan, Alex here, Allison's here. Wow, look at all these awesome people. Gail, Lilia, Nadia's here. Susan, welcome. All right. So I don't have a topic. Well, what else is new? I never have a topic for you today, but just based on what we were talking about, I was thinking about, in a general sense, picking a niche. I think this is something that has been on the mind of a few of our members, and since it just came up without us even trying, let's go down that road a little bit here. So all of you have different interests, right? In fact, if we went ahead and we went around the room, which I suppose we could do, we're going to open it up for conversation, but we went around the room, we could assess how different we actually are in terms of who likes this and who likes that, right? So Elfen likes something different than Lynn, than Alec, than Susan. I know I'm stating the obvious here. So I want you to think about this here just for a moment. Is what you're into, like the things that you do for recreation, let's say, let's just start with recreation. Your avocation, that's what avocation means. So vocation, you get paid; avocation, you pay, right? So your hobbies. What are you into? And maybe jot a couple of those things down. Now you may have already done this exercise. Rachel may have told you to do stuff like this. She probably has. And so why don't you start with something that you're at least interested, like you speak that language already. You speak that language, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to get in communication with people via your marketing, your offers, your listings, right, for the various products, and accompanying the picture of the product is going to be the copy, right? So here's the words that accompany the pictures, right? Now, a picture's worth 1,000 words. We know that. But you still got to have some words. Okay, well, which words? I am some examples, stuff that I'm into. Music, right? So I'm a dyed-in-the-wool metalhead, been for my whole life. Riding my Harley, right? Motorcycling, love motorcycling. Shooting sports, right? I'm an avid gunner. What else? Well, obviously I'm a family man and all that, but that's not really an avocation, right? It's not a hobby. I think I'll go do family stuff today. I'm a father, every day. But right there, okay, so heavy metal, guns, and motorcycles. All right. So if you want to sell something to John, that's the conversation you probably want to be in. If we're talking about my hobbies, can you speak that language? Well, maybe if you're into any of those things, right? I mean, if we were talking right now about motorcycles, right? There's a certain nomenclature that goes on with that. right? Does anybody know what a bagger is? If you know what a bagger is, put it in the chat or just unmute your mic. We could talk about motorcycles here for just a minute. Nobody. Okay. So, no, not Bagger Vance, Shaquille. No, not Bagger Vance. Okay. So now you say bagger to any motorcyclist, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. So little lesson for everyone here. So you've got different kinds of motorcycles. You've got sport bikes, which are really fast, like a little rocket ship. And you've got the off-road adventure bikes with the knobby tires, and you can go climbing mountains. And then you've got cruisers, which is what I ride, right? So just picture your quintessential, Harley or Indian, and there's the easy rider guy cruising down the road. So that's a cruiser, right? But then you start adding hard luggage compartments to the bike, and you get what's called a bagger. Look at the hard bags. Okay, they're not like a bag that soft, although there are the old leather soft bags as well. But typically, when you say bagger, you mean it's the hard, fiberglass or whatever they made the product out of. Okay, the saddlebags. Okay, so that's a bagger. It's a bigger bike. And then there's a dresser. Right, the dresser is the bags, the windshields, the 10 million friggin' things that weighs 850 pounds. It's like a damn sofa, riding down the street. Okay, so that would be a dresser. Okay, full dress. So if you already had that nomenclature, right? Could you get in communication with someone in that niche? I don't know. Let's think of some ideas now. Motorcycling. My bagger's got a big bottom or something. You could think of like it's basically a big butt on the bike. It's got the hard saddlebags there on either side of the wheels, right? So that's a big butt. Is there somewhere you can go with that, right? Could you get into that, lingo? Of course you could if you knew the lingo. So that's why we could talk about starting with something where you already know the lingo. Right. I see here in the chat, somebody put sewing, crochet, quilting, crafting. Susan. Okay. Got it. All right. So sewing, I know what a needle is, and thread. I know there's different kinds of thread, polyester, cotton, crochet. Is crochet actually the tool, or is it the pattern? Like the art of it? Is it like the way it's woven? And what's the difference between crochet and knit and weave? I don't know. But you do know. Okay. So the point is that if we're going to have an effect on the intended marketplace, the ideal target audience, you're going to want to speak that language, right? It shouldn't be something you're forcing out. So like the fishing thing, okay, another great example. Right. And you can go on, Amazon, Etsy, eBay, whatever, and you can find all kinds of ideas on, fishing, cups, hats, shirts, bumper stickers, not to mention the actual, apparatus, right? Poles and hooks and, all the stuff. Right. But even in that world, right, there's going to be nomenclature. What's a size? I'm making this up. A size 10 hook. I don't know. What is a size 10 hook, right? And what does that mean? What does it mean to the person, right? But if you're in the fishing world, could you get an idea of, I know there's different hook sizes. I don't know if 10 is actually a size, but I used to do fishing. When I lived in New Jersey, as an adolescent, I would try fishing and, anyway, I may get back into it now that I'm in friggin' Tampa, right? I mean, it's the fishing capital of the world. But but is there significance or relevance or something you could get out of that nuanced bit of nomenclature, right? Size something hook, right? That sounds like an idea for, a t-shirt, right? Something sarcastic, perhaps something, satirical. I don't know. Where could you go with that? So here's the point of me saying all this to you is I want you to actually think about this, because this is low-hanging fruit by definition. Okay, so in fact, one of our new members asked me yesterday, why is it called the low-hanging system? And so I just elucidated a bit. Well, there's this concept of low-hanging fruit. So here's the tree, and there's fruit growing all over the tree, but you don't have a ladder yet. You can get one. Okay, but right now, let's just go ahead and pick some of that low-hanging fruit. Okay, put some fruit in your mouth. That's cool. You're well fed now. Now let's go get ladders and you can build your empire. Okay, but let's start having some wins without you having to, go get a doctorate diploma or something, right? Let's have some wins. Hence, low hanging, and the fact that you're not doing what's on top of the tree when you get the ladder, right? Is now you're throwing hundreds of thousands of dollars at product sourcing and international customs and right. Okay, I mean, I know a lot of people that are barking up that tree, and it's not an easy road. Okay, it could be very profitable or not, right? But what's your risk tolerance on that? You're not showing up with a few $1,000s and getting into that deal. So the idea then, once again, is to go for low-hanging fruit. And that is things where you can already speak that language, ideas that you can already get in communication with people about something that's already real for them. Bagger. You all know what a bagger is now, whether you want to or not. Okay, too bad. Right? Now you know what a bagger is. And there's custom baggers and there's, performance baggers and guys are doing all kinds of, paint jobs and special, tuning to the engine and racing. They're racing these friggin' things. You can go on YouTube and you can see the King of the Baggers race, with Harley Davidson and Indian and huge bikes, 780 pounds, 800 pounds, huge bikes. They're racing these things. So what language do you speak, right, in terms of your avocation, and that you could think of ideas based on nuances, okay, which there'll probably be less competition for. Okay, so there is fishing, right, which is terribly broad, and then there's the size of the hook, right? So from the smallest nuance to the largest generality, right? There's a whole range of stuff. Now, because we all have different interests, I don't know crochet. Susan knows crochet, okay? And this is just what there's 30 of us on here right now, live, plus everybody who's watching on YouTube, either live or recorded. Hey, you guys. But that's 30 out of 7.5 billion people who are in this conversation right now. So 30 people out of 7.5 billion who are walking around the planet and, sucking wind, right? So can you saturate that? Good luck. Tell you what, if you could saturate that, you're a trillionaire, game over. You're my mentor now. Teach me something. Okay. So no need to fret, right? Or no need to like rack your brain with this stuff. And look, we've got, you all have seen samples, and you've also seen, just as it relates to your participation in the training and everything that you've got here, you've seen testimonies of, other people and products that they've succeeded with. For those of you in our advanced launch program, Rachel and Adam and Amy and the top experts share what's working in their businesses. Here's of course, that's all under non-disclosure. Here's the pillowcase that, did 20,000 in sales. I mean, I wouldn't have suspected that, right? Because I'm not in that world. All right. But those people, yeah, they really like that stuff. So it's impossible to saturate. But the way we get it sold is by, and we've talked about this before, the way we get it sold is through some emotional connection with the item or the benefit of having purchased and the ownership and use of that item. That's what people actually buy. It's an emotional thing. Okay. It's not just a cup. It's not just a t-shirt, right? There's something internal that happens for them. If you can get in communication with people, and you can, okay, but you get in communication with people where they're at, with the things that they are, let's say, passionate about. Well, now we're going way beyond just some commodity. Your coffee cup holds liquid just as well as mine. Okay. But now I got to have that one. Makes sense, guys? So I know this is a bit more of a grounded conversation than we normally have. We're not diving into the philosophical, origins of, e-commerce or whatever today, but but that's what came up, right? That seems to be on people's minds, right? The idea of niching, or as we say here in the States, niching. You got to niche it down, baby. What's your niche? Lynn Perry, tango, reading, and flirting. Am I reading that right? Yes, I am. Now you know. That is Lynn's bag right there. Elfin, rugby, cricket. Oh, rugby. Oh, you're a rough guy. I mean, somebody was saying that I'm a badass. Shaquille, John's such a badass, right? Cool. Oh, I do Krav Maga too, and weightlifting. I forgot to mention that. So, but rugby, I saw a rugby player, Elfin. I was in New Zealand. Maybe it was the All Blacks or something. Is that the New Zealand team? Yeah. And they and this guy got like bashed in the head and it cut, right, and blood. And one of his coach or the teammate or whatever got duct tape and bam, taped his head and get him back on the field. Right. These guys are brutal. Yeah. Rugby, cricket, golf, darts, cycling, and dancing. All right, Elfin. So tomorrow you're up for dancing. Elfin's hosting tomorrow, everyone. He's going to be doing an interpretive dance, and he'll be enlightening us all. So, anybody else have some thoughts on this? We could talk about what you're into, or we could talk about how you can use that to write copy and to produce stuff of interest to people who are just like you, but aren't in the business of making print-on-demand products. They just want one, and they're going to pay retail. Any thoughts? Or did I put everyone to sleep? Lynn, you've got your hand up. Hi, Lynn. Please unmute your microphone. Here she is.
I've got a few Tango cups up and running, and there is a Tango language, and they are all getting interest. I mean, I'm not selling any at the moment because the link's kind of a bit broken, so I've actually put my prices up, so I won't sell anything, but I'm getting feedback at least until I fix the link. But it's nice to see. I tend to do things in groups, so there's not just a single thing. It's like there's a group of Tango cups, and I've got a group of book cups and a group of things. But it's really nice. I'm using the formal language of Tango. Also, I've got a lovely quote by the author Jorge Luis Borges. Excuse me for mispronouncing his name. Now, what was it? Tango is a vertical expression of a horizontal desire. And that's been getting quite a bit of interest. I think as soon as I can fix up my links, I'm going to sell quite a few of those.
Right. Right. I think that works. And you know what? I think Elfin's a buyer. Elfin, dancer, huh? Tango? Do you tango, Elfin? No? All right. You know what, Lynn? I took ballroom classes. Can you believe it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this was leading up to my wedding. And so my wife thought it would be fun and instructive for us to take ballroom lessons. And I learned waltz, swing, tango. Personally, I love watching tango. Like, it's just it's beautiful to watch.
It is.
Yeah. So, I didn't get very high, in the training or whatever, but we did the waltz thing and we did the wedding and that was it for me with ballroom dancing.
We did that for our wedding too. It was really lovely. Yeah.
Good times. Oh, and the Macarena. I remember we had this guy, and he was very flamboyant. This instructor that came in, and he was like, "All right, we're going to do the Macarena." And so I got to do some version of that. I'm not sure how that looked to everybody else, but it was very strange for me. Oh my goodness.
If you're feeling good with it, you're having fun, then it's going to look good because everything lines up.
Right. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. Shaquille Macarena. Shaquille
Macarena in the building. Good to see you, John. I didn't see you on Monday. I hope you're doing exquisite. I just want to raise my hand to speak a little bit to this topic because I was on Spot Niches and I'm an MMA guy. I'm almost as badass as you, John. I don't ride a Harley, but I do enjoy metal. But anyway, I was on Spot Niches looking up mixed martial arts. stuff on there, and it's not very popular. Like I looked up, like MMA mug, and other kinds of products, and they weren't doing too well in terms of like the potential. So that it made me a little sad, but then I saw an opportunity to maybe try and create some interest. But I don't know. What do you think, John? Like, what would I do in a situation where one of my interests is not really selling too well in our product lines?
Well, I know you're into Reiki, right? So there's a whole niche there, and sub niches and cross niches, right? I mean, you've got people that are into energy and vortexes, and I was just talking with some of my clients about a piece of art that I bought, which has nothing to do per se with Reiki, but this is a piece of Southwestern art. It's a bronze sculpture by a guy named Worrell, who was inspired when he saw the carvings or paintings inside the caves and of the shaman with the antlers and the hands up like this and the crow flying over. And so he got into bronze sculptures, and these things cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And it spoke to me, right? But it also spoke to other people who we're talking about, like Sedona, Arizona, right? And there's the crystals and the vortexes and all this. So there's ways to impinge upon people because they kind of cross paths in that way. But as far as something that is not, let's say, popular, like MMA coffee mugs or something.
Do you know what MMA is?
Yeah, mixed martial arts. So, right. So here I'm a biker, right? Here's a coffee mug. What does this have to do with motorcycling? Nothing. Okay. But they still got $30. They still got it. Probably more because it says Harley Davidson on it. But the thing is, when people are passionate about something beyond just rationality and let me look at the statistics or whatever, but when people are passionate, even to the point of irrationally passionate, they're going to part with more money more readily for stuff that they don't need. It's not about need. Okay. So then back to the idea of mixed martial arts, which is hugely popular with men. Okay. And there's, women who are into it too. There's even like women fighters and all this, but who's the audience there? Are you trying to sell to the competitors, to the fighters? They could probably use a coffee cup or whatever here and there, but they're probably more into like the gear and training and all this. What about the fans? Right. So here's UFC, which is enormous. It's an enormous enterprise, right? And guys walking around with the Affliction shirts and, tap out and everything else, right? So what was that? That was an idea, clothing designer, right? And they created this whole product line around it. So is it coffee mugs specifically? No, maybe it could be. Or maybe here's the other thing. In fact, I had a conversation with one of our new members the other day. He was talking about doing something, like a pewter or like, some sort of a metal, like goblet or stein or something like that, and targeting a certain niche that has, that likes that sort of a motif, right? And so, maybe, it's not, maybe the white, cups, maybe that's not the answer for that crowd. Maybe it's something, big, bold, and ostentatious. I'm just thinking out loud. Okay. But, not all, what, I wouldn't have this cup on my table every day if it was just a standard, coffee cup. This thing is big and heavy and it fits my personality. So you can't be all things to all people. Right. But there's definitely a way to get into that market. It's a big market, Shaquille. It's a big market.
Yeah, for sure. And like things like Tap Out and Affliction and like American Top Team are like all things that are already branded. So I can't slap any of those things on like a black mug or a t-shirt without getting in a little bit of trouble.
No, don't steal someone's trademark, but make your own.
I thought about
right?
it.
No. I mean, look, in the biker world, you know how many manufacturers and designers and brands there are that have, Skulls and Flames and, whatever, right? You put the Grim Reaper on a cup or something, okay, but it doesn't say Harley Davidson. Don't say that, okay? But their designs are really nice. In fact, I showed you guys just a few weeks ago a shirt that I got from some company I'd never heard of, right? 21 Strong, I think it is, something like that. It's run by law enforcement and former military people, and they're making shirt designs. Now, do I need another shirt? No. Did I buy their shirt? Oh, I did. I really like that design. So I added one to my collection. But I already have shirts from other, not just Harley Davidson, but, other like biker apparel and stuff like that, or, the whole patriotic thing, which I'm into, right? So American flags and all this. So there's endless ways to create in that space without ripping off someone's trademark. Don't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, keep digging on that, Shaquille. Look, you're brilliant. Guys, Shaquille's brilliant. Will everybody just tell Shaquille how awesome he is in the chat right now? Let's validate this guy. Because look, you know stuff, okay? And you're going to hit, you're not going to hit everything, okay? But you're going to hit. Something's going to catch fire here.
Yes, sir.
Glad you're here, brother. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here too. And you are brilliant as well, John, and everyone else.
Yeah.
You're all
Thank you
brilliant.
for noticing. Yeah.
Thank you for noticing.
I have no problem accepting validation. Yeah, I'm freaking awesome. All right. Mark, you got a hot mic. Mark, did you want to say something?
Do I? Oh. Just talking about, I guess, Carol, like, or what you put on your cups design wise is probably professions, like tradesman type professions.
Yeah, we can get into vocations too. I was just talking about
Like
something easy,
people, mechanics,
like a hobby. Yeah. Yeah.
Carpenters, yeah, people like that. Because and plus a lot of people do that stuff as a hobby as well anyway. There's all these backyard mechanics and backyard carpenters.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say, oh, something like oh boy, didn't you stuff that up? Got the timber the wrong way. Like, amateur boy would accept that. Or, oh, did you put the manifold on back to front or something like that? You probably have to have a bit of an image if you're going to do that type of thing, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah.
you're thinking, Mark. That's great. So these are things that you have, obviously, those are real for you, right? Manifolds and carpentry and nails and stuff like that. Do you speak that language? Great.
Yeah.
So let's find what combinations, and look, plagiarism's okay, guys. We just talked with Shaq about not stealing, someone's or infringing on someone's trademark or copyrighted stuff. That doesn't mean you can't plagiarize, right? I mean, go see what's already out there, and then, come up with some combinations of your own. Goethe, here we go with philosophy, right? So Goethe said, all intelligent thoughts have already been thought. All we got to do is think them again, right? So what combinations can you make out of that which already exists?
Well, that's the trouble. You got to Google it and find out, or go through the copyright system that Low Hanging's got, and see if it's not been see that you're not copywriting or redoing something that's already out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you can do it better in a slightly different way.
I mean, there must be stuff out there that's going to get missed anyway. I mean, how do they have everything copyrighted? Who's got that information? Where is it?
Well, it's in the Library of Congress and the trademark departments and stuff like this. But the thing is that you don't need to steal anything. But when you get the train moving with ideas, it leads to more ideas. Here's the thing, guys: momentum is such a beautiful thing to have, because when you get off of zero, right? So here's zero, and then you get up, you get some movement going. Movement begets movement. So overcoming that inertia with creative ideas, even if you don't publish them, okay? Because it would be, let's say that's a copyright infringement. You're looking at different ideas, and then you start getting into the momentum of more ideas. And then you go take a break. Here's the thing, Mark and everyone, you take a break, right? Because you've been doing that for an hour. And then suddenly this great idea flashes into your mind. Bam, there it is, right? But we're going to get those hunches, we're going to get those ideas more readily when we're in the game. Okay, you can't just be outside looking in, hoping that an idea comes to you so you can get in the game. No, get in the game, and then you start to develop new filters, right? And new ideas can come to you. And I don't want to get woo-woo or mystical with you or anything, but my goodness, right out of one of the greatest self-help books ever written, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he enumerated 13 principles that every most successful people that he studied, right? These are the things that they did. And the 13th principle was the sixth sense. The sixth sense, right? So that intuition, that the instincts of that, and getting those hunches. Okay, but he also said that you can only experience that to a large degree once you've done the other 12 principles, right? Like definiteness of desire, organized planning, the power of the mastermind, right? Persistence, right? So these are different chapters in the book. Anyway, good book for you all to read if you're interested. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It is. I've read it many times, cover to cover, and I've made a lot of money. So, Mark, thank you. Thanks for jumping out here. I think I put you on the spot. You didn't have your hand up. You had a hot mic, so that got my attention.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'll kill it now.
Very good. All right, guys. Well, we've been talking for a half hour. I hope you got some ideas, low-hanging ideas, right? I mean, there it is. That's what we're talking about. And then see how that blossoms, and you can create momentum with that. If you are new here, welcome once again. Definitely get with your accountability reps. We've got action going on behind the scenes here. Go through your accelerator modules. Prepare to meet with me on our business launch sessions. There's so much more for you here. You're going to see that we're just getting started. We're just getting started. We got lots to do. So love you guys. Make it a great day. I'll see you back here on Friday. I'm thinking Lana will be here with us tomorrow. Otherwise, it'll be me. Hopefully she's got everything handled that she had to do yesterday. So you guys have a good